Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is PETER Plonner. I'm coming from Germany. I have experience in plastic industry since 25 years, specialized since 13 years in the application of plastic barrier packaging. So the header of my presentation is the beneficial impact of nylon into food and savings. Especially, we are staying here since a few days already. We had a lot of discussions, and I'm really more or less very much surprised, overwhelmed about the reactions we had about the interest in this new type of packaging. Especially, you have heard a lot of discussion, a lot of presentations from Nippon Gosei, from the other people about multi-layer films, what they are capable to do to bring in terms of food waste, also for the Kenyan industry, for Africa, for East Africa. And this is okay. My speech will be today about, I will give you only a brief information about my company called Sojitz Corporation, which is a Japanese trading company. The next part would be the polyamides history and properties. And then what you can realize, packaging applications with polyamides. And the remaining and the most important would be what are our solutions, what the solutions are from Sojitz Corporation. So here again, the brief information about our corporation. So the name is Sojitz Corporation, headquarters in Tokyo, has been founded, let's say, only in 2003, so quite young enterprise. But actually, this company has been established only 12 years ago, because two big Japanese trading houses merged together. It was Nichimen and Nishu Iwai, and out of that, the Sojitz Corporation has been formed. We are listed at the Tokyo Stock Exchange. You see, Sojitz Corporation is a quite big enterprise. We have around 16,000 employees worldwide. We have 7 offices in Japan. We have 84 overseas offices. We also have in Africa, among that we have 9 offices. Unfortunately, not yet in Kenya, but this may come, I hope soon. In terms of financials, only to give you a number, Sojitz Corporation has a turnover, it's around $40 billion enterprise. You see, we are a typical Japanese trading company. So we are actually in all of the industry. We have partly own investments. We are trading. We are financing. We are in automotive, as you can see, aerospace division. We are in infrastructure, environment, energy, metals, coals, the chemical division. Chemicals division is also the division I'm working for. Chemicals is divided into chemicals and plastics. In our case, we are also busy in food and agriculture, also in the retail, the business. For example, in Africa, we have already activities in terms of food, of tomato powder, in terms of crabs, in terms of sugar. We also in the cement industry in Africa. We selling caterpillars, automotive parts. We have investments in oil, into gas, etc. Already quite active here. So now we come to the actual topic, which is nylon film. As I said, you have heard about, at least the people who have stayed here for the first presentations, about multi-layer film, about plastic barrier film. Everything was now mainly related to EVOH, is a gas barrier resin. You will see also that we are not only handling polyamides, also EVOH. So I don't know what is the knowledge of you concerning polyamides. Actually, polyamides is a very, very old polymer. Has been the synthesis of polyamide of the product called PA66 has been already done in industrialization phase in 1938, very old. Polyethylene, first industrialization was in 1933. And you have the polyamide family is very, very wide. I will only talk or inform you about 3, which are actually from volume-wise for the biggest. The first, as I said, it's a PA66. Out of that, everything has been started. This is a polymer obtained by the polymerization of amine and acid groups. This polymer is mainly used in injection molding application, especially where high heat resistant is needed, also high abrasion resistant. It's used for automotive parts, etc. And the next one is a PA6. This is now from volume-wise. You must know that all the polyamides together, the family, it was in 2010, the data was 3.1 million tons has been produced in the world. So PS6, this is so the biggest polyamide type in this family. This is obtained by the polymerization of the monomer caprolactam. And this is used also in injection molding application. It's partly filled also with glass fibers, so to give it more stiffness and more mechanical properties. It's used for fibers, it's used for the nylons, for the ladies, for example, monofilaments, and also in film applications. So it's used in film application, in packaging applications, PA6. The next most important is a product called PA666. It's called also in the market 666 nylon. For film applications, this is also the product what we are selling, especially for blown film, the process. So now, what is the polyamide family? So in general, if you talk about nylon, it has the chemical structure is based on a very strong hydrocarbon bonding. So therefore, it's a very, very tough material in general. So which gives you a very high mechanical strength. It gives you excellent chemical resistance. It gives you medium gas barrier properties. So compared to EVH, I will talk later. It gives you excellent temperature resistance. Therefore, it's used, for example, also a lot in automotive. It gives you a high clarity, especially important for packaging application. And it gives you also a very excellent thermoformability, also related to food packaging applications. Again, to make it more clear for you, what are the main properties and especially why it's used in film applications. So this is also films, multilayer, what we have been talking today, combinations with polyethylene, combinations with polypropylene are already widely used in Europe. It's a really big industry, so the film processors. I will start with this one. Oh, where is it now? Yeah. So with the mechanics. So what we learned already, it's a very tough material. So this brings you now in terms of films, it brings you the possibility to down-gauge films. I've discussed a lot of projects during the days I'm staying here, and we have learned still that for applications which needs also high mechanical strength, here the industry is using very thick polyethylene. So let's say 200 micron polyethylene for vacuum bags, for example. If you bring in nylon, you can maybe reduce the thickness from 200 to 120 micron. So you are saving cost, you are saving plastic waste, you are saving at the end also food waste if it's about a food application. So therefore it's used in heavy duty packaging, it's used in vacuum pouches, it's used for thermoforming applications. The next one is the chemical resistance barrier, packing of hazardous substance. This is also one property, basic property of nylon. It's also used, for example, in agrochemical packaging, also for the canisters and for the cans. Also nylon is used as inside layer. This because of the chemical barrier and resistance. In terms of the red one, the temperature resistance. It has a relatively high melting point, depends on the type. It goes from 190 degrees melting point up to 280, depends on the nylon type. But this gives you especially the properties of post-treatment. If you have a flexible packaging, for example, you want to bring it to retort. You have to have a polymer which can withstand this retort process, for example. It also helps you much in terms of sealing. So if you put, for example, the nylon as outside layer, you can seal with much higher sealing temperatures, which gives you an increase of filling line speed. If we talk about clarity, as it see-through packaging. So this is, of course, one topic to replace, for example, aluminum laminates. You can also, in some cases, you can, of course, make it realized with nylon structures. We have the yellow one, the formability, lightweight, thin forming webs. This can be a solution to replace maybe aluminum trays, to replace bottles or glass for some applications. And the last point is the gas barrier. As already said, this nylon, it doesn't give you the high gas barrier of EVOH, but already it gives you a medium gas barrier, we call it, which is basically fundamentally already suitable for smoked products, smoked meat products, like bacon, ham. It's used for smoked fish. You can pack it just with nylon. You can increase heavily in shelf life. And this, of course, at the end, it leads you to get a prolongation in shelf life. It will keep the quality of your foodstuff stable. So now the next point is how polyamide is converted into films, because here I think the main applications will be films. We have three fundamental processes. One is the so-called cast film process. So in that case, the melt or the cast film will be brought by a flat die, will be brought on a chill roll. So it's a flat die where the melt is coming out. As you can see here, it's a flat die. And this cast film technology, it enables you, or it's used for nylon. It can go up from only one layer. This is then a film for lamination. It can go also up to 11 layer or even more. This technology is available nowadays. So it means at the end, it can be used directly as a co-extruded film. You just make cast film, you make a pouch, package is ready. If this is not enough, if you need printing, for example, if you need other properties, you take a monolayer cast film and you can use it for lamination, for thermoforming, for example. The next process is blown film. Also here, almost the same. It can be used from one layer up to 11 layer. This technology is available. In Kenya, I found there's most of the companies running monolayer or 3-layer lines. So we need for nylon more or less as from 5-layer lines. So this we also hope that we can do something here. So also the blown films, they can be used as directly as co-extruded film. So you make your co-extruded film, you can make a pouch, package is ready, or you use this film for lamination, so to laminate against polyester, to laminate against BOPP. And the third process is a so-called cast film extrusion by actually oriented process. It means this is a product, some of you may know BOPP, biopolyester, and this is more or less the same from the process point of view, but it's based on nylon. And this is a film which has a very, very high puncture resistance, flex, crack resistance, can be used for vacuum pouches for vertical form fill seal application. And this is typically, this can be not used straight, so you cannot just use BOPA, you always have to make a laminate, mostly with a sealing layer, based on polyethylene or polypropylene. So now we come to more the colorful slides. We are talking now really the real applications in the market in Europe, what can be definitely, which can be, we can be, bring this here to Kenya and to East Africa. So polyamide film applications, I have divided them into 3 parts. The first part is so-called vacuum packaging. If you talk about the food stuff, we see only some examples. So where these type of polyamide-based multi-layer films are used for cheese packaging, nuts and rice, and sausages, ham, coffee, laminates, in pickles, in smoked fish, etc. So it can be used everywhere. So the advantages of putting in nylon is to increase the storage and shelf life, because you don't have any oxygen. You suck out the oxygen, you will have more or less no oxygen in the package, and the medium gas barrier also definitely avoids, at least for some time, ingress of oxygen. It will reduce the waste because you can down-gauge films, as I just informed you the example, to go from a very thick PE film to much down-gauge film with nylon. Means you will reduce the waste, so the plastic waste, which is, I think, also a good topic in Africa, in Kenya. Also, nylon gives you already a very good aroma barrier. It gives you a decent gas barrier, which will reduce the dehydration of the foodstuff and also the weight loss. Improves the presentation, of course, if the product, the foodstuff is not spoiled. Of course, it looks much better. So this is, of course, one thing. If you put, for example, nylon outside of the packaging, it's a very glossy material. It looks very glossy, very attractive to the consumers. And it improves the transport of food and feedstock. So I've had a lot of discussion about packaging like this, because Kenya is a nut country. So these packages, what we have learned here, are mainly based on polyethylene, where you have the problem that the oxygen will come in over time, the package will get loose, and also the oxygen is in, and for nuts, for example, fat oxidation can start, and it will be, the product will be spoiled more sooner with PE than with a multi-layer film based on nylon.
Yeah, already gave you our brushes, so you have it. You can find the description of our grades, but
even more. So it's very difficult really to put all the possible structures here. But if we are talking about the co-extruded film, for example, some simple structure could be just polyethylene, adhesive resin, nylon, adhesive resin, polyethylene, or to bring polyamide outside. As said, you can use higher sealing temperatures. The packaging outside is more glossy. You can bring the nylon outside, also here. The typical range of this vacuum packaging is in between 50 to 150 micron of the total film thickness. The same can be, of course, applied on BOPA. So we have learned biaxially oriented polyamide has a bit improved properties compared to co-extruded polyamide films. And so there are the laminates used, for example, in Europe widely for cheese packaging, for smoked ham, etc. And the thickness of structures also, it varies between 50 and 100 micron. As already said, if you need an even higher oxygen barrier, easily you can apply EVOH, maybe in the laminate. Also, we have a product called BOPA XX. It has included EVOH barrier. So you can put EVOH barrier here, or also you can run with 7-layer blown lines. You can run also the 7-layer film with nylon and EVOH, which gives you high strength and gives you high gas barrier. Also, you must not only think on food application, also non-food application. So because you're using vacuum, you suck out everything. It's 100% tight packaging. It will reduce contamination risk for medical products. It helps you in cut the storage and transportation costs for textile products or cushions. Means you suck out the air. Your cushion will be like this before. If you suck out the air, it will be like this small. And because of nylon, this small shape, small volume will be kept for a long time. It offers a dry and dust-free atmosphere because we suck out everything from the package. For example, for sensitive electronic products. Or also, one example would be welding electrodes. This is to protect industrial products from moisture and oxidation.
Yeah, so we are the full solution provider and we are there to serve you. Thank you very much.